Okay, well, we mentioned free speech there, Elon Musk fighting for free speech with Twitter. Our next guest is Andrew Timmings, who's a professor and author who has brought to these shores the Free Speech Union. Now, the Free Speech Union in Britain is run by Toby Young, who you will have seen on Outsiders. He's an editor of The Spectator magazine. There is also a Free Speech Union in New Zealand, which Jonathan Ayling runs, which has done great work there. We need one in Australia. It started this week. I urge you to join it, to look into it, because the whole point of the Free Speech Union is to help people in everyday life who are cancelled for whatever reasons, simply for expressing a point of view. Andrew, great to see you. Thanks for coming here on the show. I was honoured to be your MC at the Free Speech Union launch in Melbourne the other evening. It was a great night. Tell us why the Free Speech Union is needed here in Australia now.
I mean, the bottom line is we are under attack. And when I say we, I don't just mean people like myself of the right. There are individuals on the left whose speech is also under attack. The Free Speech Union is a nonpartisan organization. We protect everyone's speech, everyone's lawful and protected speech. And there are so many instances these days over the last few years of egregious violations of individuals' right to free speech. And I'm not just talking about universities or journalists, I'm talking about teachers and taxi drivers who maybe post the wrong thing on Twitter and suddenly get a call from Human Resources saying, we'd like to have a chat. There is a dire need for a union that will come to people's help, that will come to people when they need help and provide them with the assistance so that they know that they're not alone in their fight.
James.
Tell us about some of the wins the Free Speech Union has chalked up in other countries, and what are some analogues to sort of current fights that we might be seeing today in Australia?
Well, the Free Speech Union, as Rowan said, has a history in the UK. There are a number of academics in the UK right now. I would say primarily the TERFs, the transition radical feminists, who have come under fire from their universities and are being supported by the Free Speech Union in the UK. There are a number of recent wins in New Zealand. There was a case of an anaesthetist who was almost outed publicly for some tweets that he or she made anonymously on Twitter, that the Free Speech Union came to their defense. In Australia, there's any number of cases that are going on right now. I mean, the way I like to think about this is a bit like an iceberg. You have, above the water, the very visible cases, the Moira Deemings, the Peter Ridds, et cetera, people who are known to have been canceled for what they've said. But below the water is what you don't see, and that is a much bigger mass of people who self-censor, people who are afraid to express themselves, not just on Twitter, but in their workplaces, and a large number of people who have been canceled but simply don't have a voice to let others know that they've been canceled. So there is the value of the Free Speech Union. You're not alone. You have people behind you, you have people with you, and you have people with resources who can help you.
Rita.
So is it like a union, you have to be a member, paid up member to utilise your services and get your support if someone tries to cancel you?
Yeah, that's exactly right. We are a member-driven organization like any other union, but we are unlike any other union. I think we all know that most trade unions, especially in this country, are vehicles of wokeism. I think they've long since abandoned the idea of their existence to bargain for wages in favor of the need to push a particular narrative, a woke narrative, so to speak. Whereas traditional unions are, as I say, they claim to be interested in protecting your wages. The Free Speech Union is interested in protecting your right to free speech, which, in my view, is a currency that's equally valuable, if not more valuable than a dollar, than your wages.
And Andrew, you mentioned Moira Deeming. She was there at the launch. So was Peter Ridds. So was Holly Lawford-Smith. All have been cancelled by their universities or cancelled by the political parties. But the key thing, from my opinion, I guess, is that the Free Speech Union is there for those people, as you mentioned, below the surface, who run foul of an HR department or colleagues, turn on them because they've expressed a point of view, a political point of view or a cultural point of view, and they get into all sorts of trouble. You there as the Free Speech Union, you will have lawyers and other people, correct, who are there to help these people. Am I right? And they need to contact you.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. We have a team of people that are there to help. We are here to defend liberty. It is liberty and freedom that made this country great. I don't think people ask that question of what made this country great. It's not the natural resources. It is the fact that we have had liberty and freedom to express ourselves, and that is under threat, dramatic threat at the moment. It's important because liberty enables creativity, creativity enables problem solving, and problem solving enables economic growth. So it's not just about speech. There are wider implications to what we're doing. We think that speech is the most fundamental right, the right to say something or the right not to say something. And we are here to defend it until the end.
Andrew Timming, thanks so much for coming on Outsiders. And if you want to join the Free Speech Union, find out more about it. They need people to get behind it. It's gone gangbusters in the UK and New Zealand. We want to see the same thing happen here in Australia.